The Bible in a Year, Day 52, Numbers 12 through 14. Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses on the pretext of the Cushite woman he had married, for he had in fact married a Cushite woman. They complained, "Is it through Moses alone that the Lord had spoken? Has he not spoken through us also?" And the Lord heard this. Now the man Moses was very humble, more than anyone else on earth. So at once the Lord said to Moses and Aaron and Miriam, "Come out, you three, to the tent of meeting." And the three of them went. Then the Lord came down into a column of cloud, and standing at the entrance of the tent called Aaron and Miriam. When both came forward, the Lord said, "Now listen to my words. If there are prophets among you, in visions I reveal myself to them, in dreams I speak to them. Not so with my servant Moses. Throughout my house he is worthy of trust. Face to face I speak to him, plainly and not in riddles. The likeness of the Lord he beholds. Why then do you not fear to speak against my servant Moses, and say to the Lord's wrath flared against them?" And he departed. Now the cloud withdrew from the tent, and there was Miriam stricken with a scaly infection, white as snow. When Aaron turned toward Miriam and saw her stricken with snow-white scales, he said to Moses, "Ah, my Lord, please do not charge us with the sin that we have foolishly committed. Do not let her be like a stillborn baby that comes forth from the mother's womb with its flesh half consumed." Then Moses cried to the Lord, "Please, not this. Please heal her." But the Lord answered Moses, "Suppose her father had spit in her face. Would she not bear the shame for 7 days? Let her be confined outside the camp for 7 days. Afterwards she may be brought back." So Miriam was confined outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not start out again until she was brought back. After that the people set out from Hazeroth and encamped in the wilderness of Paran. The Lord had said to Moses, "Send men to reconquer the land of Canaan, which I am giving the Israelites. You shall send 1 man from each ancestral tribe, every one a leader among them." So Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran at the direction of the Lord. All of them were leaders among the Israelites. These were the names: from the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zakur; from the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, son of Hori; from the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh; from the tribe of Issachar, Igal; from the Josephites, from the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun; from the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu; from the tribe of Zebulun, Gaddiel, son of Sodi; for the Josephites, from the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, son of Susi; from the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gemali; from the tribe of Asher, Sethur, son of Michael; from the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Vothsi; from the tribe of Gad, Geuel, son of Maki. These are the names of the men whom Moses sent to reconnoiter the land. But Hosea, son of Nun, Moses called Joshua. In sending them to reconnoiter the land of Canaan, Moses said to them, "Go up and there in the Negeb, up into the highlands, and see what kind of land it is, and whether the people living there are strong or weak, many or few. If the country which they live is good or is the country in which they live good or bad? Are the towns in which they dwell open or fortified? Is the soil fertile or barren, wooded or clear? And do your best to get some of the fruit of the land." It was then the season for early grapes. So they went up and reconnoitered the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rehob, adjoins Lebo Hamath. Going up by the way of the Negeb, they reached Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, descendants of Anakim, were. Now Hebron had been built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. They also reached the Wadi Eshkol, where they cut down a branch with a single cluster of grapes on it, which 2 of them carried on a pole, as well as some of the pomegranates and figs. It was because of a cluster the Israelites cut there that they called the place Wadi Eshkol. They returned and reconnoitered the land 40 days later, proceeding directly to Moses and Aaron and the whole community of the Israelites in the wilderness of Paran Kadesh. They made a report to them and the whole community, showing them the fruit of the land. They told Moses, "We came to the land to which you sent us. It does indeed flow with milk and honey, and here is its fruit. However, the people who are living in the land are powerful, and the towns are fortified and very large. Besides, we saw descendants of the Anakim there. Amalekites live in the region of the Negeb. Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites dwell in the highlands, and the Canaanites along the sea and the banks of the Jordan." Caleb, however, quieted the people before Moses and said, "We ought to go up and seize the land, for we can certainly prevail over it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We cannot attack these people. They are too strong for us." They spread discouraging reports among the Israelites about the land they had reconnoitered, saying, "The land that we went through and reconnoitered is a land that consumes its inhabitants, and all the people we saw are huge. There we saw the Nephilim. The Anakim are from the Nephilim. In our own eyes we seem like mere grasshoppers, and so we must have seemed to them." At this the whole community broke out in loud cries, and the people went into the night. All Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The whole community sang to them, "If only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died here in the wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us into this land, only to have us fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will be taken as spoil. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt?" So they said to one another, "Let us appoint a leader and go back to Egypt." But Moses and Aaron fell prostrate before the whole assembled community of the Israelites, while Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Jephunneh, who had been among those that reconnoitered the land, tore their garments and said to the whole community of Israelites, "The land which we went through and reconnoitered is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord. You need not be afraid of the people of the land, for they are but food for us. Their protection has left them, but the Lord is with us. Do not fear them." The whole community threatened to stone them, but the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of meeting to all the Israelites. And the Lord said to Moses, "How long will this people spurn me? How long will they not trust me, despite all the signs I have performed among them? I will strike them with pestilence and disown them. Then I will make you a nation greater and mightier than they." But Moses said to the Lord, "The Egyptians will hear of this, for by your power you brought out this people from among them. They will tell the inhabitants of this land, who have heard that you, Lord, are in the midst of this people. You, Lord, who directly revealed yourself. Your clouds stand over them, and you go before them by day in a column of cloud, and by night in a column of fire. If now you slay this people all at once, the nations who have heard such reports of you will say, the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land he swore to give them. This is why he slaughtered them in the wilderness. Now then, may my Lord's forbearance be great, even as you have said. The Lord is slow to anger and abounding in kindness, forgiving iniquity and rebellion, yet certainly not declaring the guilty guiltless, but punishing the children to the third and fourth generation for their parents' iniquity. Pardon then the iniquity of this people in keeping with your great kindness, even as you have forgiven them from Egypt until now. The Lord answered, I pardon them as you have asked, yet by my life and the Lord's glory that fills the whole earth, of all the people who have seen my glory and signs I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and who nevertheless have put me to the test 10 times already, and have not obeyed me, not one shall see the land which I promised on oath to their ancestors. None of those who have spurned me shall see it. But as for my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit and follows me unreservedly, I will bring him into the land which he entered, and his descendants shall possess it. But now, since the Amalekites and Canaanites are living in the valleys, turn away tomorrow and set out into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea road. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, how long will this wicked community grumble against me? I have heard the grumblings of the Israelites against me. Tell them, by my life, oracle of the Lord, I will do to you just what I have heard you say. Here in the wilderness, your dead bodies shall fall. Of all your men of 20 years or more enrolled in your registration, who grumbled against me, not one of you shall enter the land where I solemnly swore to settle you, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the son of Joshua, and Joshua, the son of Nun. Your little ones, however, who you said would be taken as spoil, I will bring in. They shall know the land you rejected. But as for you, your bodies shall fall here in the wilderness, while your children will wander for 40 years, suffering for your infidelity. To the last of you lies dead in the wilderness, corresponding to the number of days you spent reconnoitering the land, 40 days. You shall bear your punishment, 1 year for each day, 40 years. Thus you will realize what it means to oppose me. I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will surely do this to the entire wicked community that conspired against me. Here in the wilderness they shall come to their end, and there they will die. And the men whom Moses had sent to reconnoiter the land, and who on returning had the whole community grumbling against him by spreading discouraging reports about the land. These men who had spread discouraging reports about the land were struck down by the Lord and died. Only Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, survived of all the men who had gone to reconnoiter the land. When Moses repeated these words to all the Israelites, the people mourned greatly. Early the next morning, they started up high into the hill country, saying, Here we are, ready to go to the place that the Lord spoke of, for we did wrong. But Moses said, Why are you now transgressing the Lord's order? This cannot succeed. Do not go up, because the Lord is not in your midst. Do not follow yourself to be struck down by your enemies. For there the Amalekites and the Canaanites will face you, and you will fall by the sword. You have turned back from following the Lord, therefore the Lord will not be with you. Yet they dared to go up into the hill country, even though neither the ark of the covenant of the Lord nor Moses left the camp. And the Amalekites and Canaanites dwelt in that hill country, came down and defeated them, bringing them back as far as Hormah. This is the word of the Lord.